So last year I made my first short film, Meatball, and now that it's finally out for the world to see, I wanted to address a comment that I received. Would love to know more about what you do differently, like what mistakes you made, especially those involving the actors or other crew. No problem at all. Number 1, contingency is key. You can say as much as you want that things won't go wrong, but they will. And that's okay, that's normal, so you have to have money in the budget set aside for contingency. Otherwise, you'll end up coming out of pocket for a million little things you never expected, and the little things really add up. Here are some things I had to spend extra money on that I was not prepared for. Overtime hours. So on the second day, which was also our final day, we went overtime 2 hours, which may not sound like a lot, but when you total up everyone's rates, that comes somewhere around $1,000 to $1,200 that I was not prepared for. Hard drives for the footage. This feels so obvious in hindsight, but it's a detail that I completely overlooked. The footage obviously has to go somewhere, and it can't be your old high school flash drive. It's gotta be a reliable drive with a lot of space. And one isn't enough, you need 2. One for the main and one for the backup. This is literally your whole film. If your footage is gone, you have nothing. All of that hard work in pre-production and production means nothing if you can't get past post. I went with the old reliable Samsung T7 SSD drives with 4 terabytes per drive. Speaking of footage, my next unexpected expense. A computer that can handle the footage. Now, maybe this one is a bit more situational, but I had always intended to edit the film on my own, but I found that when I loaded this cinema grade quality footage into my iMac, it just simply couldn't handle it. Now, I did have an assistant editor on the film, and I could have chosen to pass off the entire film to that editor, but I knew I'd want to edit future films too, so it felt like an investment and the perfect time to just kind of go all in and get a Mac Studio. And $250 on a new desktop. It doesn't come with you need the screen, and I couldn't connect the studio to the iMac, which feels crazy, but you can't. So, and that's not even all of it, okay? Here's a quick rapid fire round. A safe place to park the U-Haul overnight. A padlock to ensure the equipment was safe in the U-Haul. A U-Haul. Crew lunch on camera prep day. Unexpected Ubers. Enough soap and toilet paper for 25 people over 2 days. Mr. Clean magic erasers for when the camera equipment inevitably scuffs the walls. I think you get the point. Now, some of you may be thinking, Alex, these things feel really obvious. Maybe your producer should have caught these details. What a perfect segue into the next lesson that I learned from making my first short film, Meatball. Take off that hat. You don't need to be wearing it. It also doesn't really suit you. In an effort to save money, I decided I was gonna do so many things on my own, and it ended up costing me more money. How ironic. Do less, do what you're best at, and delegate the rest. If I had hired someone to focus strictly on budgeting, it would have saved me so much money because I could have raised an amount more variable to the costs of the film. And beyond just producing, I even tried to avoid hiring a production designer because I thought I could do that myself too. But our DP, Christina Dobre, quickly put the kibosh on that. She said, no, I really think you should hire a production designer. And listen, take it from me, there is no honor in doing it all yourself. Filmmaking is the most collaborative art form that there is. There's no way around it. You see how many names are on a credit list at the end of the film? It's simply not possible to get it all done on your own, and it's totally okay. Now, some budgets don't allow for you to hire certain roles, so what do you do in that case? Just don't make a film? Wrong. If you can afford to hire or outsource, please do it. But if you can't, that's okay too. Lean into it. It's okay to think a little smaller when you're just starting out or if you're not in the financial place to be able to swing it. Use the resources that you do have. For me, I live in New York City, so if I can't hire a production designer, I'll just use the city as my production designer. It does all the work for me. Okay, well, what if you don't live in the city? That's fine too. What's around you that's beautiful, compelling, and free? Get creative. You don't need to hire all the crew members that I did for my film or that some of these movies hire for their films to make something good. So then why hire people at all? That's a good question. It's fair. It's a fair question. I've been down that road many times, getting creative with limited resources and whatnot. And it's honestly a great place to be. It allows you to take risks and be super creative, problem solve. And honestly, it could be a lot of fun. But I wanted Meatball to be different. I wanted to see what it was like on the other side of that, what it was like to make a film with some actual backing behind it. Everything I did before Meatball was based off of favors, and I just decided for me, with where I was at with my life and my career, it was time to take it up a notch. Lesson number 3, time moves faster on a film set. So this was something I've heard time and time again from other filmmakers, but for some reason, I thought I was gonna be the first filmmaker ever to transcend time. I swear to you, time moves so fast on set. But no, actually not if you're a PA. In that case, it moves really painfully slow. actually. But regardless, you will never have enough time on set. So just like we put money aside in the budget for contingency, we should do the same with putting time in the schedule for it too. Everything will take longer than you think. Things will go wrong. And this isn't me being pessimistic. This is me just being real. You have to save time wherever you can. And as a director, the best way to do that is by being decisive. If you think you got the shot, get the safety and move on. There's no need to do 5 takes of anything. You're wasting time and money, and honestly, by take 5, the magic of it is gone anyways. And also, this issue isn't native to indie filmmakers. When I was a PA on some major movies and TV shows, like, you are never getting more than 3 takes of anything. Don't be silly. It will seriously eat into your schedule if you're not getting exactly what you need and just moving on. I learned this by error, but maybe you don't have to. The first single coverage of an actor we got was on day 1, and it was of Cece's cousin, Angie. I was super excited, personally, so I let Mia run through the entire script, which, in hindsight, was not the right decision to make. It ended up being a 15 to 16 minute take. This took up a lot of time from the rest of the day, so I had to readjust how we would execute going forward. I started to prioritize the exact lines of each character and a few seconds of reaction in between each line. Though maybe this also was a bit of a situational issue because it was one long scene at a dinner table. If we were just getting 2 pages of a script, I would let the actor go through the entire thing because, well, it's not gonna take that long. Obviously, depending on the context of the scene, but regardless. Because of the nature of this film, I had no choice but to readjust. Having each actor do multiple 15-minute takes just wasn't efficient and was going to create a huge headache for me in post-production. But even with that in mind, on the top of day 2, we still went overtime. Unfortunately, it's just unavoidable sometimes. So it's best to just accept that yes, time does move faster on a film set, and no, there's nothing you can do to change it, but there are things you could do to help it. Here are some of those things. Clear chain of command and communication between crew members. Please make sure headsets are on the equipment list. If your crew members are having to run across the entire set to ask each other a simple question, it's already done. Having headsets with microphones built in will streamline the entire process and honestly is just the standard. Of course, if you have a small set with just 3 crew members and you're in a tiny corner of the park, you don't need that, but use your best judgment. Assume you always need them and then decide if you don't. Also, make sure there's no deliberation on who's reporting to who and who's in charge of what department. If you have a crew member struggling with certain power dynamics, then the dynamic needs to be established right away or that crew member might have to go. Have a solid assistant director. ADs are such an integral part of the filmmaking process. They are completely and totally the spine of the set. And when things go wrong, the first person people normally point to is them, so they can catch a lot of flack. But they're managing so many different aspects of the day, so having a good AD that can handle all of that is wildly important. But maybe just as important is having a good crew that understands how much the AD is juggling and doesn't do anything to make their lives harder. Have a good meal on set. This one may be more specific and I think overlooked. It's really, really important that your cast and crew have a nutritious meal to get them through the second half of the day. If they start burning out and slowing down pretty quickly, then it's probably because they didn't have any good food to support their energy. So no pizza. Some crew members will be on multiple sets per week and they're probably getting pizza a lot because it's cheap and it's easy. And as much as I love pizza, it's filled with carbs and it's not really sustainable for 12+ hour work days with hard labor. It's something that not only impacts time, but well-being of your cast and crew. So invest in good food for them. And for yourself too. Make a content plan. With the world we live in today, it's not enough just to make a film, unfortunately. You also have to make content to back up that film. This is how you get new eyes on your work and drive buzz to what you're doing. Have someone on set that is purely there to capture footage with their phone, not a DSLR, no nice fancy camera, something authentic and gritty like your phone. Treat this as a step equally as important to making the film, which may sound crazy to some people, but it's true. You're essentially creating a marketing plan for it. This concept is a beast in and of itself, and I can go very far into depth. But to keep it brief for this video's sake, here's a few concepts I'd go into the day with if I were capturing social content on set. General BTS, self-explanatory. Funny actor moments. These are the moments that you can get of the actors in between takes, being themselves, and we get to show a little bit more of the heart and soul of the film. Footage of director directing. Self-explanatory. Crew members before the day starts and then after the day ends. Content. You have to make content. It helps your film get pushed into the algorithm so that people watch it, or they go see it in film festivals in droves. Social presence is so important, so don't let it be an afterthought. That would be a shame. For me, I work with a lot of creators in New York City, so I decided to lean into my network, and I asked some of my friends like Kareem and Jack if I could be on their shows. So I went on Subway Takes and I went on Trackstar, and I got a lot of hate on Subway Takes for my take. It was that summer is the worst season. I stand by it. You wouldn't even believe the comments I'm receiving right now. People are mad. But those shows drove traffic to my page where I had plenty of Meatball content, which then drove people to watch the actual film. It's a formula. It's math. Now, of course, not everyone is in the same boat as me and maybe can't get on those shows as easily. But you don't have to have a successful social presence. Make interesting, digestible, and shareable stuff. That's it. And the final lesson I learned from making my first short film, Meatball, you could do it. I know. It's really easy to fall into imposter syndrome when making something that feels so ambitious. I know I did. It felt so weird that I had a whole ass crew reporting to me. And to be completely honest, I didn't think I could do it. But I pushed through every single negative thought that I had and I did it. And you can too. If you have the passion and the desire to make films, you better go and make them. Now more than ever, we need original stuff. So don't be afraid that you can't do it, because I promise you, you can. You just may have to take a few nervous shits first. If this is the first video you're ever watching from me and you haven't seen Meatball, I'd encourage you to go check it out. And if there's anything you're more curious on or any topics you want me to dive deeper into, let me know by liking the video and commenting down below. See you in the next one.